Well, hey everybody, we're Friends with Music. This is our second episode. Thank y'all for watching the first one. If you didn't, go back and take a look at it. It's going to be on both Facebook and on YouTube. But basically the premise of this is a few years ago I realized that I love music. I love playing it. I love singing it. I love being around it, but really not that good. I just have been surrounded by really incredibly talented musicians that made me look a whole lot better than what I am. And as I thought through, I said, I need to sit with some of those friends and let's reminisce and play a little music. And so who better than Robin Treadwell right here. We're on her porch. And
with my wind chimes.
All right, so we talked about taking these down, but they're in the key of the song.
They are, so that it'll be an addition.
Exactly, and the song is totally psychedelic, so it works out perfectly. Well, Robin, in LaGrange, when you talk about people who have played in lots of other things, you've touched just about every organization and music group in LaGrange in some way, haven't you?
I have. I've been so fortunate to be able to play with the symphony, with the LaGrange High School Chorus, with many of the plays at the theater company, and when the operas that Androwski's group used to do. I've just been really blessed to be able to do that.
All right, so we talked a little bit about this before, but how did you get started? What was the impetus of Robin in music?
Well, I grew up on Lincoln Street, and this was years ago before the underpass, and at the bottom of the hill was the band room. It was an old wooden building for the old Callaway band years ago, and I would sit out on my front steps, and they would march up the street. They would practice for parades, and I would sit there and I would look at that, and I went in and told my mother, I said, I want to do that. So bless her heart, she got me into the CEA much younger than I was supposed to, and Emery Drinkard started teaching me saxophone.
A lot of folks know that name.
Oh yeah, they do. They sure do.
So saxophone's what you started on first?
That's what I started on, and I spent my summers at the CEA. I walked over there and I just stayed from 8 to 5. Wouldn't even go to lunch, I don't think. Probably went downstairs and got one of those cherry things that came out of the machine, but and a candy bar.
Yeah.
But I was doing my saxophone, and then after a while, John Thompson took over. Mr. Drinkard retired. And I still kept going over there every day, and I saw a trumpet, and I said, you reckon I could learn how to play that trumpet? And he said, well, sure, here's how you do it. So I learned how to play a trumpet. And then there was a drum set there, and I said, do you think I could move this drum set into this little practice room and play drums with some music? So that's how I learned.
Probably on a record player.
There was it was vinyl. I took my vinyl records over there, and so that's how I learned how to play drums. And I learned accordion, I learned vibraphone over there, and over the years I've just picked up a lot of different instruments.
Well, it's been fun to watch you. I got to see you play a variety of things. You mentioned the accordion. You and I worked together for a number of years over at Hollis Hand Elementary.
We did.
We had a spaghetti night, and we wanted to really make it special for the parents and the kids. And so you walked around with your accordion as the wandering minstrel.
Oh, it was playing Italian music.
Yeah, so then the moon hits your eye. Of course, I had to get the microphone and sing along.
Oh yeah, sure. That was a lot of fun.
Oh boy, we had such a good time.
It was. Those were good years.
Well, you and I have gotten a chance to do it. Like we did actually. Company together just this last year.
Recently.
So we've done several things outside the school, but it's those school years we spent together that really stand out to me.
They were. They really were special because you were so supportive of me, for one thing. I mean, you enabled me to do a lot of stuff that I don't think a lot of other music teachers got to do, like the Guitar Hero.
Oh, yeah.
The Guitar Hero competition. It was a great teaching tool.
If those that don't know this, the PS2, a friend of mine that runs a pawn shop gave us some of those and the little guitars.
Yeah.
We bought the games, and Robin would teach the kids meter and scales and all this playing the Guitar Hero game. So we projected it up on the screen in the auditorium.
Yeah, we had a competition. That's what we did.
Miss Treadwell versus Mr. Mormon, both of us with our guitars, and she whooped me.
I won. I practiced. I was not going down.
No, well, the music teacher has to win that competition.
Right. Yeah. Did you let me win?
No, that was all you. That was all
Okay,
you.
good. All right. I'm glad to know that.
But that's also one of the first times I really remembered having that realization about how the incredibly talented people around me. Because you and I would work together to with the teachers, and you would work together to do shows.
To do the shows.
And as the standards increased and the pressures on the teachers increased, you and I kind of took that over from the teachers.
We did.
And we ended up writing a couple of our own little shows.
Well, you wrote the shows.
Oh, well.
I created the music. I'm giving credit where credit's due. I didn't write anything.
Well, you got Simon and Garfunkel, Lennon and McCartney, Treadwell and Mormon.
There you go. Hyphenated, Treadwell Mormon.
There you go. I like that. We did just so much fun. If you had a musical memory that just stands out, what would it be?
Well, it would probably be playing the Duke Ellington's Nutcracker Suite with the LaGrange Symphony Orchestra, playing the alto sax, and then I would alto sax on one movement, tenor sax on another movement. So that was outstanding. But a funny one, if you want to hear a funny one, one of the first times I was on stage in 6th grade.
Okay.
My name was Madame Mavourneen, maker of music. I'll never forget it. I wore this tacky dress. It was awful. But I was playing my accordion, and I was so nervous. I was just like, oh my goodness, let's get this over with. So it was time for me to play, and I started. I don't know if you've ever played the accordion, but you don't look. You don't look down here.
Okay.
You feel it. Well, I started on the wrong note. And I stayed on the wrong note.
The left hand's got one set of notes going.
The left hand does the chords.
Okay.
And I was on the wrong note, every single note. But I kept going.
Well, you were the mistress of music.
Yes, I was. I absolutely was. And, later on, my saxophone professor at Jacksonville said, if you play a wrong note, play it like you mean it. And I did. I just kept going, and they just clapped,
I'd hate to say this to all of you non-musicians out there, but most people don't know.
Well, a lot of people. I sure did, though.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I think back to, I guess there's some special moments that we've got to have. But I think about when we had a chance to celebrate your retirement from our time together at Hollis Hand.
Right.
We had just such a great time.
We did.
Celebrate you, and Connie asked you retired about the same time.
That was a wonderful celebration.
And
it really was.
Just the remembrances that people had of what you had meant to them musically, to inspire them to play, to get them opportunities. Because again, as you and I talked before, you didn't just sit back and let them do a worksheet or just listen to a vinyl record or something. You had them actively doing things. Every grade level sang and put a show on. And my daughter finally found the Halloween.
HALLO.
And she said, "This is the greatest thing. This is the scariest stories that Miss Treadwell will play for us." And she got to play them. And I'm about to be a granddad pretty soon, and I'll be playing those for my grandson. So pretty neat. Now we're going to do a song together, and it's a little non-traditional in that. Before every show, we get in the auditorium, and you would be noodling on the keyboard down there, just kind of playing around. And one year, you had the Hammond sound going on the keyboard, and you jumped into Procol Harum's Whiter Shade of Pale.
I did.
And now,
guess who grabbed a microphone?
Just quick. Again, I only knew the first verse, which most folks only know that and the Miller's Tale part. And I started digging in. This is the weirdest song ever written in the history of rock and roll. But so if you want the example of how to have a hit that lasts 40 years after you, don't follow this one, because it's amazing that it works. But we would sing that, and we would, every time we say, doggone, one of these days we'll get the words of this song.
I know. And now that we have iPads, so we have the words.
I've got the words here. I hopefully I'll remember most of them. But just having some fun, we're going to do that for y'all. Procol Harum's Whiter Shade of Pale.
Right, here we go.
That bossa nova beat there. There we go. It's almost as if Hall & Oates played it. That's kind of a Hall & Oates feel. I was feeling kind of seasick. The crowd called out for more. The room was humming harder as the ceiling flew away. And when we called out for another drink, the waiter brought his train, and so it was later, as the miller told his tale, that her face at first just ghostly turned a whiter shade of pale. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Robin Treadwell. Now for you young ones, that would be a lighter we used to hold up at concerts. Back when we had concerts.
That was cell phones.
Said there is no reason, and the truth is plain to see. But I wandered through my playing cards and would not let it be. One of 16 Vestal virgins that were leaving for the coast. And although my eyes were wide open, they might just as well have been closed. And so it was later, as the miller told his tale, that her face at first just ghostly turned a whiter shade of pale. Once more, here we go. This song's over 40 years old, and as soon as you've heard that first beat, you can't help but fall right into it.
That's right.
One more time on that chorus. Y'all sing with us. Here we go. And so it was later, as the miller told his tale, that her face at first just ghostly, everybody now, turned a whiter shade of pale.
All right. That was fun.
We picked up some folks from the neighborhood to
We
come
did.
by. Folks, thank y'all so much for tuning in and watching this. If no one watches it, but our families, we're happy because
Right.
we're celebrating music, we're celebrating friendship, and we're talking about that song 40 years. I also think about the legacy you've left as a music teacher in this community. So
I appreciate that.
appreciate you, Robin.
Thank you for saying that.
All right, we appreciate y'all, and who knows what's coming next? We'll see. Y'all have a great afternoon or evening, depending on where you are. Bye-bye.
Bye.